Alright, so today's going to be a bit of an unusual one in a sort of way. I've done plenty of Total War Warhammer videos before, but they've been pretty edited content, which is in itself somewhat unusual. I generally shoot for unedited content with most every other video I do on this channel because I'm lazy. But for the Shadows of Change DLC release, I wanted to do at least a few recordings of playing around with the new campaigns and releasing it in an unedited format. Raw and uncut. Bigger, longer, and uncut, as it might be in South Park. So I've not done any Total War Warhammer content in a good while. It's been a mixture of being busy with other games, generally speaking. And by the way, if you want more Conan Exiles, it's don't worry, there's more of it coming. But I I wanted to hold off on Total Warhammer for a few reasons. A part of it just simply was I just didn't have any good ideas for videos. Part of it was I wasn't for sure how to go about doing it, as I like playing a heavily modded Total War Warhammer campaign, and I would assume that would confuse a lot of viewers. Not to say that viewers are generally stupid, but some of them certainly are. And part of it really was I was waiting for this DLC. I was waiting for more content for Kislev, for Cathay, and I'm still waiting really for the Araby mod from the old versus new team, which looks so cool every time they show off a bit of it. But quality Rome wasn't built in a day, so and it's better they take their time with it. But nonetheless, here I am after thinking I'm gonna play Ostankya here. Out of the three DLC Legendary Lords, I have not paid attention a whole lot to the hype cycle for Shadows of Change, to be honest. I saw a little bit of the Changelings video, his showcase, and I saw that he builds cities inside other people's cities. Like, he only builds Skaven Undercities, Vampire Coast Coves, that kind of deal. I thought that sounded pretty cool, and I'm vaguely aware that Yuan Bo has a gimmick built around edicts or something of the like. And Ostankya has a gimmick built around she builds energy by cleansing corruption. And out of those three, I'll be honest, I'm partly picking Ostankya just because I really like the look of not just her. I've always dug the Hag Witch lore of Kislev. I've always dug the Ungol side of Kislev's lore. Sadly, there's really no Ungol stuff to Kislev and Kriv Assembly's vision for things. I'm not a fan of that, but I also, it's not really a big problem, and I'm just happy to get the Hag Witches to begin with. I'm sure there's mods that are going to expand the Ungol stuff further. But I really just think, from what I've seen, I've not actually played with any of these DLC things, but from the little bits I've seen, Kislev's 2 out of the 3 units Kislev get, the thing in the woods, or the things plural in the woods, and the incarnate elemental of beast, easy for me to say, both looked really cool. Akshina Ambushers seemed kind of lame, but they seemed like the only unit in this DLC that wasn't a winner. And these faction effects sound interesting. Apparently we get access to bats and spiders. I'm sure that if you've watched the Mother Ostankya showcase video, this is obvious stuff, and I just somehow missed it. But, I didn't watch the showcase video for her or Yuan Bo. I was already well, I'm a Total Warhammer addict, so I was sold on the DLC from the moment it was announced. But +1 Winds of Magic power reserve for each resource-producing building. That sounds a bit strong. And +8 melee attack against all armies that spread corruption. That sounds pretty cool and pretty thematic. Now, she starts in Nagaroth, which is very far away from the actual lands of Kislev. This is another part of why I'm interested in Ostankya. For Cathay, I've already played through a Zhao Ming campaign, and I quite enjoyed it. It was back before they overhauled Cathay. Now Cathay's a very different sort of game to play, now that the harmony mechanics work entirely differently. But for Kislev, I enjoyed playing Katarin in Realm of Chaos, but I was not too terribly excited to start up a Katarin or Kostalton or Boris campaign. I'm going to go ahead and start the loading screen just because I'll have to talk about something. I was not terribly excited to play Katarin or Kostalton or Boris in Immortal Empires, partly just because all three have really brutal campaign starts. And I put in 3,000 hours, but I'm still not really super good at the game, if you ask me. At least a campaign. At least I get stressed easily by it. I get spooked easily. And the start for Ostankya Does not look like one where you'll have a lot of allies. Presumably you'll be able to make friends with the High Elves and the Lizardmen, but it looks like it's one that's going to be a lot of fighting Dark Elves. Let's see. Oh, we don't get lore blurbs on the loading screens anymore for the why you're there. Oh, I should have checked why Ostankya's in Nagaroth before I hit the start campaign button. Ah, well. Yeah. But nonetheless, part of why I'm interested in Ostankya is really just because she seems to have more of an easy start than the other Kislev factions. Though I am curious, come to think of it, oh, we get a little animation here. We're not in the Motherland, we're in Nagaroth. We're a long way away from the Motherland, actually. Ostankya, okay. Sounds a little bit sillier. That was neat. Personally, I wouldn't have shelled out the budget for that, but I mean, it's neat that that's there. Okay, let's see. How's the frame rate? It's not great. Okay, this was right. This was a big. Actually, come to think of it, this is a big part of why I never got around to recording much Total War Warhammer campaign stuff. Just because I get absolutely terrible frame rates on the campaign map sometimes, especially when you're up in Kislev itself. Come to think of it. All right, here we go. I'll just deal with it. I'll just deal with it. All right. Path to Victory, Daughters of the Forest. Mother Ostankya must obtain 6 forbidden hexes to unleash upon the world, each guarded by those intent on keeping these powers away from her. Claiming the first 5 hexes uncovers the 6th and most terrible hex, the ultimate punishment for Kislev's enemies, the Malediction of Ruin. Successfully performing this final hex leads to campaign victory. Hexes reveal themselves as Mother Ostankya uses spirit essence gathered from winning battles, purging corruption, and occupying magical forests, in turn powering her witch's hut incantations and the hexes themselves. Yeah, she doesn't get her chicken leg hut. That's unfortunate, but I guess they just didn't have the animation skeleton for it. I guess it probably figures it's better to animate the chariot instead for hag witches to use as well. Okay, let's see. Spirit essence is gathered from winning battles, purging corruption, and occupying magical forests. Okay. Defeat an army belonging to the following faction the Bleak holds. We will learn the Purification Chant Hex, and we will get plus 10 Spirit Essence. Okay. So we start with Ostankya herself, who already, hang on. She already comes with a mount of... She already comes on a Thing in the Woods chariot mount. Really? I thought she would start on foot. And our hag hero also starts out with a chariot. Really? So they start with a mount by default and they don't get any others. Interesting. Okay, we have this hag witch has the lore of beasts. Ostankya has, let's see, a mixed lore. Lore of beasts, lore of shadows. She has ward save and a unique spell, a unique ability which heals and restores vigor. And it is an area of effect ability. That's quite nice. We start with Akshina Ambushers, the incarnate elemental of beasts, the thing in the woods, things, plural, it's going to take me a long time to get used to that, cave bats, and giant spiders. I see. So we're going to be a force that does not like to get into real deep, serious engagements here, I suppose. And the Hag Witch, we'll go ahead and throw her on. She provides protective charms. Oh, that's interesting. That's a unique name for the passive ability, isn't it? The hero action, protective charms. Ordinarily, that'd be named reduce attrition. Is this the first hero that reduces attrition? That's interesting. Again, I'm sure this is all very old information for people who've been paying attention to the hype cycle. I've just been busy playing Conan. Like, literally, for the past, a month, it has been one day I play Conan, the next day I spend uploading all the Conan videos. The next day I play Conan, the next day I upload all the Conan videos. So, it's just been not an ideal situation for keeping up with the hype cycle. Okay, let's see. Our starting enemy army we're going to be going up against here is, let's see, a Supreme Sorceress, Witch Elves, Bleak Swords, and a Hydra. Doesn't seem too bad. Let's see. Do we have any really good anti-large here? Anti-infantry on the Hag Witches does make sense. They're on chariots. Let's see. The Incarnate Elemental of Beasts is anti-large. The Hydra is anti-infantry, right? It's pretty well anti-infantry. The Charybdis is the anti-large version. The Things in the Woods are anti-infantry. Cave Bats are pretty well just fell bats, but not undead. And giant spiders. Oh, that looks like pretty solid stats, actually. Though, I get boost to them because I'm Ostankya. Okay, so the strategy here, I suppose, would be probably to have the Akshina Ambushers and the Incarnate Elemental Beasts work down the War Hydra as soon as possible. And with our magic here, Enfeebling Foe, not bad. Flock of Doom, solid. Flock of Doom is really good against armored units, but there's not a lot of armor going on there. Let's see, from the other lore beasts, we do have, Keldunya's Spirit. We can summon an extra unit of Things in the Woods. Probably want to just throw those at the Witch Elves, then, I think. Probably want to pincer the Witch Elves between the Things in the Woods if we can, since the Witch Elves are themselves going to be anti-infantry. Wissen's Wild Form, I don't know if we'll end up using that. Enfeebling Foe does sound better. Wissen's Wild Form on the Incarnate Elemental Beast is probably going to be quite good. At the same time, throwing the Enfeebling Foe on the Hydra is not a bad idea either. And the Hag Witches are both also missile units. Though, albeit ones with standard range. Okay, for a second I thought that the Hag Witches were artillery pieces. I don't remember. I think I saw a Zerkovich video going over the stats of the units. I somehow got that mixed up. I think because I saw the ability Ostankya can pick up later in her skill tree where she throws a bear at you. Because, that's a thing now. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and go in there. We could auto-resolve it, but I want to play with the new toys. Okay, should not be too much of a problem here. Luckily, they have a really squishy lord as well. It is going to be in a fairly forested part of the map, but I have the missile advantage, so I can force them to fight me wherever I want them to. Though, how fast are Hydras? Hydras are probably 50 speed. That's usually the typical speed for monsters. What I'm wondering is, could I use the Akshina Ambushers to skirmish and force them to come to me? Using the Hag Witches missile attacks would probably be smarter. I should have checked what... Hang on. Okay, I can check the... Let me turn on unit cards. I usually have it turned off because I find them ugly. Okay, they have a speed of 46. That's not super fast. It's not ideal either, but probably I'll use the Hag Witches, then use their missiles. How much ammo do each of the Hag Witches get? 48 shots, 36 shots. That's quite a lot. Okay, so let's see. Our plan here will probably be... Do the Things in the Woods have stock? No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. No. Okay. Well, let's see. Probably what I want to happen is... Hang on. Okay, do the Things in the Woods have hide in forest? They do. As does the Incarnate Elemental of Beasts. Excellent. Do all of our units have the ability to hide in forest? I'm going to assume so. Seems to be the case. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and take the things in the woods and the incarnate elemental of beasts, and we're going to put them in the forest here. And the Akshina ambushers we're going to put right here. Are spiders anti-infantry or anti-large? Neither. They do deal poison, but that's about it. Okay, well, the cave bats aren't going to be too useful, I'm thinking. As, really the value of that kind of light, crappy flying unit is their ability to fly over the enemy melee infantry and lock down their missile infantry. Let me get a good look at these units. Do they look any different from the vampire counts? Oh, they still got the glowing blue eyes. That's a little bit odd, but, eh. The cave spiders look quite nice, though. They don't really look like the forest goblin spiders. I'm getting iffy frame rates here. I'll have to look into fixing that between recordings. The Akshina ambushers, yeah, they just look like Kossars with capes and bear heads. That's pretty well what I expected. If memory serves, the crossbow models look quite good, though. Yes, they do. They have scopes on them. I thought that was weird. I guess that one of the Kislev techs you can get, though, is specifically for looking glasses, so that makes sense, I suppose. Okay, we'll put the hags on their own here. Probably what we'll want to... We'll keep the things in the woods and the incarnate elemental of beasts. I'm just going to call it the beast elemental. Yeah, they can be put a little ways away from the rest of the army. With 60 speed on the elemental and 70 speed on the things in the woods, it won't be that bad. Okay... Do I really want... Let's try moving these guys over here, sure. Oh, I'm feeling the rust a little bit, but... Alright, let's go ahead and see here. Oh, I haven't channeled magic. 10? Magic's not that vital here. I'll gamble, sure. Oh, and I pay the price. Okay. I feel like gambling's pays off less in Warhammer 3 compared to Warhammer 2. The guarantee of more stable Winds of Magic, I don't know. It feels like the Winds of Magic is more predictable, in which case gambling is... You know, Warhammer 2, the Winds of Magic was already kind of a toss-up, so you might as well gamble, but I don't know, maybe it's just... Maybe I'm not perceiving things correctly. Okay, we'll go ahead and try this plan. If it doesn't work, I can just rematch. Okay... So we're sending them up there. They don't have any missiles for us to be scared of. And come to think of it, what's the missile strength? Quite good. It's very good missile strength, so probably I should be using it on the single entities. So I should be using their missiles, the Hag Witch's missiles, to hit the... Oh, that's quite good, actually. Let's see. Does the... Hang on. I can't quite remember. Is the Flock of Doom inherently an Horus? A wide... Yeah, it's got a wide range. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and pop it. Yeah, the Hag Witches might be able to deal with this army by themselves, really. That's quite good. Right, they're going to keep casting magic at us, which is understandable. And we're just going to go ahead and use this. We're just going to skirmish them and force them to come closer to... the rest of my army here. Now, let's see. We're going to want... We don't want the Hydra to be in a place where it can really hurt my spiders. I'd rather not lose my spiders that way. Let's see. I forget. Do spiders count as a large unit? They do. Okay. I could send the Hag Witches around to go ahead and pick a fight with the Supreme Sorceress. That'd be funny. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do that. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pause. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tell the things in the woods to go run up on these bleak swords. While... what's her name? Talika Koshka will also spawn her things in the woods here. And we're going to tell the Akshina ambushers to specifically run up and hit the War Hydra. Our little forest beasties will move over here. Whoops, don't want to speed up. Okay, the Incarnate Elemental Beast. Let's get a look at this thing going into melee. Awesome. Cool looking unit. It's wild. That was a That's a cool surprise to see them. Okay, let's go ahead, yeah, and keep this up and going. I don't know how much damage the Hag Witches are going to do to the Sorceress in melee. Probably just want to keep them cycle charging. And so much as you can cycle charge a single entity unit, I suppose. Let's see. Focus fire on the Witch Elves, because I don't want them to be a problem. Alright, and we'll go ahead and flank around there. We're doing very fine. We're doing very, very fine. Do these guys have firewall moving? They do not. That's understandable. They're missing by quite a bit, though, and hitting the Incarnate Elemental of Beasts instead, though, which is annoying. The Incarnate Elemental of Beasts very abruptly was getting its, ass beat there. Probably from taking loads of friendly fire. So let's move the Incarnate Elemental of Beasts somewhere else so he won't take so much damage. Alright, let's see. Let's move these hags away. We don't want them to get stuck in a fight with the Witch Elves. I'm not confident in their ability to survive that. Okay, let's see. Over here, can we go ahead? We could go ahead and get some healing. Let's have Ostankya do that. Over here, yep, we're going to go ahead and start finishing off these remaining units that are fleeing. Let's go ahead and work on finishing off the Witch Elves. They seem like they're going to be a problem. Okay, did she cast her heal on... Yes, she did. Okay. Did they increase the amount of... I don't think the patch notes said they changed friendly fire amounts. Let's not attack the Supreme Sorceress. If we kill her, then the army gets to fight us again. However, let's absolutely hit the War Hydra if we can. And as a matter of fact, let's have all these units run after the Hydra. Probably could have used more magic there. Definitely could have used more magic there. Could have popped the Enfeebling Foe on the Hydra. That would have been smart. This won't do a whole lot of damage, but it'll at least do some damage. And hopefully we'll be able to wipe the Hydra off the face of the earth. That would be great. Let's go ahead and turn off fire at will for both the hags, just in case. Don't want them doing any friendly fire. Okay, we will not be able to kill the Hydra before it gets off the map, I think. Yeah, it's going to successfully flee. That's unfortunate, but, well. Probably the Dark Elf army will just get wiped out right now. Not a problem to worry about. The Incarnate Elemental of Beasts took a lot of damage there. He also dealt out a lot of damage there. I suppose that was just in the nature of having a monster fight. And the Incarnate Elemental of Beasts, I don't know if its stats are necessarily all that crazy good. It was anti-large, but I should have checked stats before I thrown it at the Hydra. Because anti-large is nice, but if the Incarnate Elemental of Beasts by default has, I don't know, let's say some pitiful melee attack number of 20 or 25... Oh, excuse me, I'm getting hiccups here. While the Hydra has, let's say, a melee attack of 60, then, that would make sense. Hang on, let's go ahead and compare stats here. Oh, I can't on this screen? Seriously? Can I open the unit encyclopedia? No, I guess I can't. I guess that makes sense. It wouldn't make too much sense in most situations to compare afterwards. Okay, we got our dilemmas here. Let's see. Execute captives for Spirit Essence. Replenish for... Oh, that's not very good replenishment. Or get money. I don't know how much Spirit Essence is rare, so I'll take the Spirit Essence for now, just in case. Okay. Okay, we have learned our first Hex. Okay, and we've picked up 10 Spirit Essence. And, let's see. The tendrils... Use the Purification Chant Hex. The tendrils of corruption have taken root deep within the land, befouling the very soil. Such evil must be eradicated if the natural order is ever to be restored. Enact the Purification Chant. Only then can we begin to cleanse the land of the Scourge of Chaos. Once discovered, a hex is performed by left-clicking its icon on the main campaign interface, selecting a valid target and confirming via the prompt. Learn more about hexes here. I think I get it. Okay, Ritual Enforcer. The orthodoxy shall be obeyed in all matters, especially when the alternative is summary execution. You know, I'm not a fan of the Orthodoxy as a retcon for the Kislev lore. I thought they were more interesting when they were an old world or like civilized nation that nonetheless was still very like the Empire's got its, you know, tribal gods, tribal style, more primitive, excuse me, style gods. I did not get much sleep last night. More primitive style gods, you know, Tal and Rhea, or let's say Manon can be kind of primitive. But Kislev, like, the Empire is still defined by Sigmar, or Myrmidia, or Verena, or Mor, who are very much more so like reformed and very organized and very, you know, distinctly quote-unquote civilized churches. Kislev, I thought it was interesting in the old lore that they were a relatively civilized nation, but still had very tribal, quote-unquote savage, quote-unquote primitive religions. And, you know, the Orthodoxy, I don't know, to me it just smacks of lazy, you know, in Soviet Russia style writing for Kislev, which by all means, you know, it's Warhammer fantasy. It's all, like, clearly ripping off history. That's part of the appeal. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Kislev's lore being overrun by Soviet stuff when it's supposed to be, like, you know, at the latest Renaissance era Russia and Poland. And it is noticeable that there's a lot less Poland in Kislev now than there used to be. Okay, consume 100 Spirit Essence. Every wisp of Spirit Essence invokes a heady Russia power? I'm not sure what that is. That's a word that the English like to use a lot more than Americans. With enough of its potent energy coursing through your veins, the hexes you uncover could be yours to command. Hexes reveal themselves as required amounts of Spirit Essence are used for witches' hut incantations and performing the hexes themselves. Alright, and we'll gain 1,000 gold if we do that. Alright, let's go ahead and pop this one then. Because let's see, Spirit Essence costs 20. Oh, that's not bad. Removes all corruption from the target settlement province instantly. Okay, what all is in this province? Yeah, we've got Arnheim, Forest of Arnheim, Bleakhold, and the Moonshard. Okay, so this is going to be our little starting province here. We're probably going to afterwards be going head-to-head with Marathi, I'm going to bet. That would be wise. Okay, this should also increase my frame rate, so that's nice. The increased frame rate button, I'll appreciate that. Okay, the visuals won't kick in for a turn or two, though. Corruption doesn't kick in until... Corruption visuals don't kick in until the next turn. The words of the purification chant echo across the land, burning all traces of corruption from the soil. No longer shall wickedness taint the earth here. The balance of nature has been restored. That's going to be quite nice if you want to go up and occupy land in the Chaos Wastes with Ostankya. Alright, the forests of Nagaraith are rife with ambient magics, calling out to those who would harness their dark power. Why are we here, anyways? I should have read that before I hit start campaign. Controlled by the enemies of Kislev, such arcane might remains a monumental threat to the children of Ursun. Conquest is the only answer. Claim this land and utilize its magic in the name of the motherland. Well, apparently Ostankya is taking the initiative and deciding to hit the Dark Elves before the Dark Elves can hit Kislev, but to my understanding, the parts of the old world that the Dark Elves are mostly known for hitting are Bretonnia and Tylea, not so much Kislev. I guess any land that has coasts is threatened by the Dark Elves, though. Okay, occupy the Forest of Arnheim. And we get the terrifying of Mask of in return. Does Ostankya not already cause fear by herself? As she causes fear, I guess an upgrade to Terror isn't terrible. Terror ain't terrible. Terrible. Okay, let's see. First skill upgrade for Ostankya. It's Route Marcher. I won't even look at the other stuff. Not until I get the next ability point. Let's see. For Talika Koshka. Let's see. Hag's Curse Mark. What is that? Is that a unique army debuff? It would appear it is. Alright, well, for now, I don't know what that does. So for now, what I'm going to do... Ooh, reduce attrition by an additional 10%. That does sound quite good. It's not helpful to us right now, though, so I'm going to upgrade Wissen's Wild Form. There we go. Okay, now, let's see. Let's go ahead and move on the Forest of Arnheim. What garrison are we looking at? A pretty poor one. I'm not fond of vanilla sieges, personally. Oh, right, this is, For a second, I got mixed up. They got rid of most minor settlement battles, didn't they? Yes, they did. Right. Personally not a fan of that. I love the minor settlement maps. I don't like the buildable towers and stuff. I'm not a fan of... I think I've vocalized this in videos before. I'm not a fan of Creative Assembly's philosophy towards Total War Warhammer sieges and minor settlement battles of the defender should just have these big, ludicrous towers that have range greater than any artillery piece and incredible accuracy, incredible damage, infinite ammo, just constantly firing shots. By all means, I believe Creative Assembly has a reason for virtually everything they do. I'm not one of those people who thinks they know the game better than the developers do. But I'm going to go ahead and not gamble this time. But I just don't agree with the philosophy. To me, it's more interesting to have sieges and minor settlements, you know, where artillery and magic can be popped a lot before the siege even really begins, before you even attack the walls. Which I think Creative Assembly does not want that. I think what Creative Assembly wants is to have quick, aggressive sieges where you don't spend a lot of time sitting outside the walls and bombarding people. Which, by all means, like, I get why they want that. You know, they want to have fast, exciting gameplay. They want Total War Warhammer to be a bit more arcade than the other Total Wars. It's just a choice I disagree with, especially if I'm playing like the Dwarfs or the Empire or the Chaos Dwarfs, who have so much fun with artillery to begin with. Okay, we got Dark Shards. They have a range of 125. My Akshinas outrange them. The Hag Witches do not, so I don't want to run them in by themselves. We'll have the Akshinas... We'll have them skirmish, I think. That'll be wise, yeah. They are a hybrid unit. They won't be too poor off if they get into melee. Let's go ahead and then keep these units in reserve here. I'll probably have the Hags go in first, yeah. Just by themselves. Well, not by themselves, but with the Akshina in tow here as well. Okay, let's go ahead and move the Hag Witches in. Let's have... Let's go ahead and move in here and cast the flock. Now, she's being very talkative today, I've noticed. There we go, already doing good amounts of damage. That's the variety of Dark Shard that doesn't have a shield, right? Correct. Okay, let's see. Let's have these guys move out to the eastern flank. Have these guys move out to the western flank. Let's see. We've already... The cooldown on Flock of Doom is kicked back on. And we're doing quite a bit of damage here. Let's see. Let's have the Things in the Woods go after the Dark Shards, get them dead. And what's the cooldown looking like for Flock of Doom? Okay, let's go ahead and cast it again. Is there a good play? Yeah, we'll cast it here. Sure, why not? Alright. KKK. Let's see. Oop, here we go. Not KKK. That's terrible. I shouldn't say that. You can say K. You can say K twice. You can say K once. Do not say it 3 times. Go for the full 4 if you're going to go that far. Let's see. I'm not sure what to do with the Thing in the Woods. I don't want to risk him taking more damage. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get these guys in there. Let's have the Hag Witches and the Things in the Woods pull out of the fight over here. And we'll go ahead. The Cave Bats I probably shouldn't be throwing into melee this readily. Alright, the Things in the Woods, we will go ahead and have them attack the Bleak Swords. The Incarnate Elemental Beasts will take some shots here. Okay, let's turn off the Stalk on the Akshina Ambushers and get them into melee. So you will go ahead and cast Wissen's Wild Form on the Things in the Woods. And also summon your ghostly Things in the Woods as well. Let's see, does anybody need healing? Probably best to just cast it over here. How many people can we get in the radius? This is close enough. Let's get the Things in the Woods up in there. Let's turn off fire at will, because by now we're probably firing artillery shots into our own men. Okay, let's see. Let's get the cave bats in there. Who is left that is fleeing that it does not have somebody on them already? Looks like we're going to be able to get everybody on this one. I want to say, well, I know that when you win a minor settlement or siege battle, it's guaranteed that the units will all be wiped out on the campaign map. But on the... I've always... It seems to me like you get better XP and treasure rewards, though, if you take the time to still wipe out the units yourself with your own two hands. A unit has been wiped out. That would be the summoned things in the woods. Okay. Okay, and I think we wiped out... Yeah, I think the Incarnate Elemental Beast went ahead and wiped out the Dark Shards as well. The things in the woods seem like they'd be quite good for running things down. Let me go ahead. Take a look at these guys, because... Yeah, that's such a cool, freaky monster design. They're very clearly some variety of Chaos Mutant, but that's Kislev. Kislev, for all that it opposes Chaos, also very clearly is on the cusp of Chaos itself. I mean, what other explanation is there for why they're so damn big? Let's see if we can't. Let's go ahead and throw on a cast of... Wait a second. Do we have infinite casts of the Gullius? Oh, I thought that we only had one cast of it. That's amazing. Let's see, can we cast it on the Incarnate Elemental Beasts again? That'd be nice. Oh, big old mushroom cloud of healing. Very nice. No reason for me to not just keep spamming that then after the battle. That's good to know. Well, let's go ahead and let these Dark Shards run then, and let's leave them all be. Let's see, and currently I am being... informed of price increases, apparently, through Steam messages. Is that just one that's one Dreadspear. He's gonna run on home, and he's gonna have quite the story to tell. Can I pop Gullius again? Probably not. It doesn't... Hang on. It doesn't resurrect dead combatants, does it? No, well, of course not. It increases leadership and vigor. It'd be too much if it also resurrected dead combatants. Though, the Hag Witches, I wouldn't be too shocked. Let me take a good look at these units. I love that Ostankya... Weird... Like... Ostankya... Like, the Hag Witches are clearly some variety of magic that would be considered heretical in the Empire. And I love it. Like, they're the sort of thing that the Empire would have actually practiced in the days of Sigmar or in the days of the Belthani, but... Like, clearly Kislev has not advanced past that, at least in this regard. I also appreciate that one of the skins for the regular Hag Witches that they've started suffering from male pattern balding, because that's just how brutal the spirits of Kislev are when you start making deals with them. It is curious, though. We've got, you know, nice little deer over here. Well, they don't look that nice right now. They're covered in raspberry jam. But then over here, there's these vicious things in the woods that Ostankya has. I can't wait for a mod that'll add the Hag Mother as a Lord type. That'd be really cool. Hag Mothers and Ungol units. Get yourself a real old-school tribal-style Kislev army. That'd be nice. That'd be fun. Let's see. How soon are we going to get Gullius? Can we get Gullius, another cast of Gullius before? Looks like we can, yeah. And one more cast of Gullius will probably heal up the witches themselves as well. Alright. I'm quite pleased with this. This is cool. Let's see. Boop. And now let's see that healing mushroom cloud go off. There we go. Kislev is so weird, and I love it. Okay, probably not much healing left to do now. Let's just go ahead. Yeah, he's just going to leave. We're not going to get another cast, so boop, in battle. I find it funny that the auto-resolve for these minor settlement battles in open fields still accounts for things like buildable towers. So it assumes that even if you wildly outnumber the enemy, it's still going to be a hard fight. And as a result, you can get, you know, the most unimpressive of victories. And nonetheless, it'll be like, hey, you're awesome. As opposed to where, notoriously, the game also has a strong tendency to for pretty impressive wins, nonetheless give out Pyrrhic victory, you suck. And people complained about that so much in Warhammer 2 that Krav simply took the liberty of going ahead and making it where now the game literally mocks you, using Tzeentch to, for even getting rather impressive wins, even for getting, your standard win types, Tzeentch still mocks you and says, oh, you suck. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and probably... Yeah, we're going to go ahead and occupy. Should we loot and occupy? I don't want to deal with the public order malices. Alright, we got the terrifying Mask of E! And the Spirit Essence +7. And discovered a new trinket. Combine it with another in the Witch's Hut to create an incantation to bless your units or curse the enemy on the battlefield. Oh, does she have Grom's Cauldron? I actually wasn't too big of a fan of Grom's Cauldron. I mean, it was obviously a prototype for Nurgle's Plague Kitchen, which I actually really loved Nurgle's Plague Kitchen. I think it's awesome. But was not big on Grom's Cauldron. Though, the Cauldron makes a lot more sense for Ostankya. Part of why I don't like Grom's Cauldron is because it's just simply like, well, Grom's big and he got famous originally through eating, so I guess his campaign mechanics are going to center around food. But, I don't know, is there really that much lore precedent for that? Anyways, new mission issued. Expansion of Ice. Maintain control of the whole Bleak Coast province. The reach of the motherland is ever expanding, proving the enemies of the Ice Queen have nowhere to hide. The Dark Elves may fortify their lands and pray to their dark gods. It does nothing to stop whole swaths of their land, or swathes, or... Ooh, that's another word that I've only ever read but never really heard anyone say. Whole swaths of their land being swallowed by Kislev's might. We got 10 Spirit Essence and the Shield of Ptolos. Alright, I want to cut this recording very soon, but before I do that... Ooh, I got another mission. Before I cut the recording, I do want to mess around with that trinket system in the Witch's Hut. But first, let me see. The most potent spells are often created deep within the woods amidst the whispers of strange incantations and the combination of unusual arcane artifacts. Each experiment brings new magic to life with which to guard the realms of nature. Incantations are created within the Witch's Hut panel to prepare blessings and curses for units and battles, benefiting the Daughter's armies and weakening their enemies, respectively. And we'll get +5 Spirit Essence for it. Okay, Witch's Hut. Let's see, we have a wood trinket. Oh, this is an intricate crafting system. Okay. When used to create a blessing, the Ursun Totem of Wood. Huh. Okay, these are probably all a little bit of lore. Ursun Totem, Wood. A treasured relic from the homeland tundra, and one not readily sacrificed, but needs must. When used to create a blessing, it provides +8 leadership to the assigned unit. When used to create a curse, it causes -8 leadership. Oh, is this like similar to, let's say, the Dwarven rune crafting system? Though evidently much more in depth. This could be like a... This would be cool if they did when the Throne of Decay... Oops. Sorry, I accidentally just nudged my cat. When the Throne of Decay DLC releases, this would be a cool feature to see added to the dwarves. Let's see. Okay, we've also apparently got a tooth. A Cold One's Fang. The fang of a single-minded predator, a hunter that pursues its quarry until the final strike. Either provides +25 charge bonus or reduces charge bonus by 25%. Okay. So, let's see. Oh, okay, so we've got recipes. We're cooking here. I see. So, these are little spells, I guess? Because this one is a summons an elemental bear if your HP is less than 20%. Oh, it makes it where, okay, so it's similar to like the health regen ability on phoenixes and hell pit abominations. Except when the character drops to really low health, they evidently nuke themselves and then a elemental bear appears. Odd. So these are equipables. Okay, these are special equipables. Alright. Let's see. If I throw in the Cold One's Fang and the Ursun Totem, then I get apparently the the passive ability Whiff of Madness. Oh, this must be a curse. Yeah, this is a curse. Causes rampage and reduces it reduces melee defense by -12. All right, let's see. Great incantation. Oh, I didn't look at the end result thing there. Ah, well. Okay, so Whiff of Madness we know is the result of mixing wood and teeth, apparently. Okay, now is that like an equipable thing? Hang on. Well, we're gonna need to go in here to level up anyways. Okay, was that an ancillary? No. Okay, I'm curious how that works then. I guess I just apply it at the start of the next battle. I'll go ahead and take the Terrifying Mask of but it's not going to be too useful. Oh, well, no, Terror's quite good, especially in the early game when there's not many units with immune to Psychology or Terror themselves. Let's see here. We can upgrade. Probably want to go for Inspiring Presence first, and then dump a little bit of points into whatever unit type we look like we're going to be making a lot of. And I'm going to go ahead and cut the recording here before I start futzing with the settings of the setup of my settlements or the tech tree. I will see you folks in the next part, which should release in a couple days. See you then. Later.